Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these top 10 rare Thomas Jefferson nickels that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we've got a truly exciting topic for you, a coin that might just be sitting around in your collection, gathering dust, but could be worth a small fortune, the United States 5-cent coin, or nickel, from 1973. Now, I know what you might be thinking, it's just a regular old nickel, right? But trust me, this particular coin could be worth a lot more than you'd expect. Stick around because, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 1973 nickel is so special and how much it could be worth today. Let's take a trip back to 1973, a year full of significant historical events. In the United States, the 1970s were a transformative period. The Vietnam War was winding down, the Watergate scandal was beginning to unfold, and the country was experiencing major changes in its political landscape. It was also a time of economic uncertainty, with inflation creeping up and the US dollar undergoing shifts in value. But what about coinage? By 1973, the US Mint was still using the familiar design on the 5-cent coin, Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's home, on the reverse. This design had been in use since 1938 and would remain unchanged for decades. But as coin collectors began to gain more interest in modern American coins, some of the coins from this period, especially from the early 1970s, began to stand out for a variety of reasons, including their rarity and condition. Now, let's look at the design itself. On the front of the 1973 nickel, we have the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson, as the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, is forever tied to America's founding ideals of liberty and democracy. His profile on the nickel symbolizes the nation's respect for its founding fathers. On the reverse side, we see Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, which is a symbol of his intellectual legacy in his contributions to the country. Monticello was Jefferson's home and a place where he conducted much of his important work, including his agricultural and architectural pursuits. This design speaks to Jefferson's vision and his enduring influence on American history. It's a beautiful, timeless design, but what makes the 1973 nickel even more interesting is its rarity and the conditions that make certain 1973 nickels more valuable than others. So, why are collectors so interested in the 1973 nickel? While millions of these coins were minted, the real value lies in the condition. Most 1,973 nickels saw years of circulation, leading to common signs of wear and tear, like scratches, discoloration, and fading. But here's the thing, finding one of these coins in uncirculated condition, meaning it hasn't been exposed to wear and remains in nearly perfect shape, is actually quite rare. Because of the coin's age, uncirculated 1,973 nickels are becoming harder to find, and that rarity is what drives up their value. These pristine versions, which have retained their original shine and detail, are highly sought after by serious collectors, and can fetch a much higher price than a regular, worn nickel. Here's where things get even more exciting. The 1973 nickel, like many coins, is sometimes found with minting errors. These errors could be anything from a misaligned die to doubled letters, or even a coin that was struck off-center. These minting imperfections are what make certain 1973 nickels even more valuable, as they are one-of-a-kind pieces that set them apart from the rest. Collectors go wild for these error coins, especially if the error is particularly noticeable or rare. For example, a 1973 nickel with a doubled die or an off-center strike could easily skyrocket in value due to its unique characteristics. If you have one of these rare error coins in your collection, you might be holding a hidden gem. And now, for the part you've all been waiting for. Just how much could a 1973 nickel be worth if you happen to have a well-preserved, uncirculated version or a rare error coin? Believe it or not, a top-quality 1973 nickel can be worth as much as $57,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $57,000 for a single 5-cent coin. If you've got a 1973 nickel lying around, make sure to check it closely. It could be worth a small fortune. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, always remember that sometimes, those seemingly ordinary coins can hold incredible value. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of our exciting coin discoveries. Top 2, we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection right now, waiting for you to discover its true worth, the United States 5-cent coin, or nickel, from the year 1983. You might be thinking, it's just a nickel, what could be so special about it? Well, trust me, this coin is much more valuable than you think. Stick around because, by the end of this video, you'll find out exactly how much a 1983 nickel could be worth today. Let's travel back to 1983. This was a pivotal year in American history. The economy was bouncing back from a recession, technology was advancing rapidly, and the US was still reeling from the fallout of the Vietnam War, while also looking ahead to the future. Meanwhile, in the world of coinage, the 5-cent coin, or nickel, was still following the traditional design that had been in circulation for over 4 decades. The 1983 nickel featured Thomas Jefferson on the front, just like it had since 1938, alongside the image of his beloved home, Monticello, on the reverse. But what makes the 1983 nickel so interesting? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and some very specific features that can make these coins incredibly valuable for collectors. On the obverse of the 1983 nickel, you'll find the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson is one of the founding fathers of the country and is best known for writing the Declaration of Independence. His likeness on the nickel is a tribute to his legacy and contributions to American democracy. On the reverse side, we see Monticello, Jefferson's home, which symbolizes his influence on American architecture, farming, and his overall intellectual legacy. The coin's design is simple but powerful, representing a key moment in the history of the United States. But while the design may seem like business as usual, there's more to this coin than meets the eye, especially when it comes to the condition of these coins. Now, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 1983 nickels were minted, the true value comes from the condition of the coin. Coins that were circulated in everyday transactions tend to show signs of wear, like scratches, discoloration, and fading. But here's the thing, finding a 1983 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition is actually quite rare. Uncirculated coins are those that have been kept in mint condition, free from the wear and tear of circulation. Over time, these coins become harder and harder to find, which makes them highly sought after by collectors. If you have a 1983 nickel that has been well preserved, it's a treasure waiting to be discovered. Here's where the story gets even more exciting. Some 1983 nickels have unique features or minting errors that make them even more valuable. For example, a coin that was struck off-center, has doubled lettering, or contains other minting flaws can be worth a lot more than a typical 1983 nickel. These minting errors are rare, and collectors absolutely love them because they add a unique element to a coin's history. If your 1983 nickel has one of these rare errors, then you're in for a real treat. Coins with such mistakes are highly collectible and are often in demand among enthusiasts looking to add something truly special to their collections. Alright, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much could a 1983 nickel actually be worth? If you've got a 1983 nickel that is in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, your coin could be worth as much as $47,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $47,000 for a single 5-cent coin. Who would have thought that a simple nickel from 1983 could be worth so much? So, before you spend that nickel or throw it into a jar, take a close look at it. You could be holding onto a fortune. Top 3, we're diving into a coin that you might have sitting around right now, the United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, from 1998. At first glance, it might seem like just another modern nickel, but trust me, this coin could be worth a whole lot more than you think. Stick around because, by the end of this video, you'll find out exactly how much this 1998 nickel is worth today. Let's take a moment to look back at 1998. This was a year full of change and growth. The United States was experiencing a strong economy, the dot-com boom was underway, and the nation was on the brink of a technological revolution. But what about the world of coins? The 1998 nickel is part of the Jefferson series, which had been in circulation since 1938. While the design of the coin hadn't changed much since its introduction, the 1998 version stands out for a number of reasons that we're going to explore. In fact, it's one of those coins that many collectors keep an eye out for, especially if they're in pristine, uncirculated condition. But let's dig deeper into what makes this specific coin so interesting. On the obverse of the 1998 nickel, we see the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and one of the country's founding fathers. Jefferson played a pivotal role in shaping the United States, and his likeness has been featured on the nickel for decades. His image symbolizes the nation's founding ideals of liberty and democracy. On the reverse side, we find Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, which represents his intellectual legacy in his contributions to American history. The Monticello design is a tribute to his influence in the world of architecture, agriculture, and philosophy. While the design is simple, it's full of symbolism that connects us to the nation's roots, and it's that timeless connection that makes this coin so valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 1998 nickels were minted, it's the condition of the coin that determines its real value. Most of these coins circulated for years, picking up wear and tear, scratches, tarnish, and fading. But here's the thing, if you happen to have a 1998 nickel in uncirculated condition, meaning it's free from any signs of circulation, you might have something much more valuable on your hands. Uncirculated coins are much rarer than you might think, and collectors are always looking for coins in pristine condition. The fewer imperfections a coin has, the more valuable it becomes in the eyes of collectors and investors alike. And that's what makes a 1998 nickel in great shape so sought after. Now, let's take things up a notch. Some 1998 nickels have unique features or minting errors that make them even more valuable. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin production process, such as a misaligned die, a double strike, or an off-center strike. Coins with minting errors are highly collectible because they are one of a kind. If you find a 1998 nickel with one of these rare mistakes, you could have a valuable treasure in your hands. Imagine discovering a mint error that turns an ordinary nickel into a rare, highly prized collectible. Those kinds of coins can command a hefty price. Alright, here it is, the moment you've been waiting for. If you have a 1998 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $36,000. Yes, you heard that right, $36,000 for a single 5-cent coin. So, the next time you're going through your change or digging through your coin collection, be sure to give those 1998 nickels a second look. You could be sitting on a fortune. Top 4, we're diving into a coin that might be sitting right in your pocket or collection, the United States 5-cent coin, or nickel, from the year 2000. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a nickel, right? Well, think again. This seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a whole lot more than you ever imagined. Stick around to find out just how much the 2000 nickel could be worth. Let's take a trip back to the year 2000. It was a time of technological advancements, the rise of the internet, and the dawn of a new millennium. While the world was preparing for the Y2K bug and celebrating the turn of the century, the United States Mint was busy making sure its coins kept pace with the changing times. The 2000 nickel, part of the Jefferson series, carries the same timeless design that has graced the coin for decades. But while it may seem like just another run-of-the-mill nickel, this coin holds a deeper story, one that's all about rarity, condition, and a few unique features that can make it incredibly valuable. Let's take a closer look. On the obverse of the 2000 nickel, we find the classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson is known for his role in drafting the Declaration of Independence and his influential presidency, making him one of the most important figures in American history. His likeness has appeared on the nickel since 1938, and it's a symbol of the nation's founding ideals of liberty, democracy, and self-governance. On the reverse side, we see an image of Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate. Monticello was not just Jefferson's home, it was also a symbol of his intellectual legacy and his contributions to architecture and agriculture. The design has remained a constant on the nickel, paying tribute to Jefferson's enduring impact on American society. But while the design is iconic, the real value of the 2000 nickel comes from its rarity and condition, which is what we'll explore next. Now, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 2000 nickels were minted, finding one in uncirculated condition is actually much rarer than you might think. Most of these coins were used in everyday transactions and show the usual signs of wear and tear, scratches, tarnish, and discoloration. But here's the kicker: if you happen to have a 2000 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be holding onto something incredibly valuable. Uncirculated coins are highly prized by collectors because they've been kept in mint condition, with no visible signs of wear. These coins are much harder to find, and the better the condition, the higher the value. So if you've got a 2000 nickel that looks like it just came from the mint, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. Here's where it gets even more exciting. Some 2000 nickels have unique features or minting errors that make them even more valuable. Mint errors can occur during the coin production process, resulting in flaws like off-center strikes, double strikes, or misaligned dies. These errors create one-of-a-kind coins that collectors go wild for. If you're lucky enough to have a 2000 nickel with a minting error, your coin could be worth significantly more than its face value. Error coins are often highly sought after and can fetch a premium price in the market, especially if the mistake is rare and noticeable. Alright, here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much could a 2000 nickel actually be worth? If you have one in uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $34,000. Yes, you heard that right, $34,000 for a single 5-cent coin. So, the next time you come across a 2000 nickel in your change or dig through your coin collection, make sure to take a close look at it. You could be holding onto a fortune. Top 5, I've got something truly special to share with you. We're going to be talking about a coin that might be sitting in your collection right now, but it could be worth so much more than you think. That's right, today's focus is the United States 5-cent coin from 1996. It might look like just another nickel, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick with me until the end of this video to find out just how much this 1996 nickel could be worth today. Let's step back into 1996. It was a time of change in the United States. The country was in the midst of the Clinton administration, the internet boom was starting to take off, and the world was preparing for the turn of the century. It was also a time when the United States Mint was busy creating new coins that would go into circulation for years to come. The 1996 nickel was part of the Jefferson series, a design that has been circulating in the U.S. since 1938. While the design itself remained relatively unchanged, 1996 was a pivotal year in the coin's history, and certain factors make this specific nickel particularly interesting to collectors. But what is it that makes this coin so valuable? Let's dive deeper. On the obverse side of the 1996 nickel, we have the well-known portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson is one of the most iconic figures in American history, having authored the Declaration of Independence and made significant contributions to the country's founding principles. His image on the nickel symbolizes the values of liberty, freedom, and independence. The reverse of the coin features an image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic estate in Virginia. Monticello is not just a home, it's a symbol of Jefferson's intellect, his love for architecture, and his vision for the future of America. This timeless design has appeared on the nickel for decades, and it continues to be a symbol of Jefferson's enduring legacy. Now, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 1996 nickels were produced, what really matters is the condition of the coin. Most of these coins were circulated and have seen years of wear and tear, scratches, dings, discoloration. But finding a 1996 nickel in pristine, uncirculated condition? That's where the real value lies. Coins that are kept in mint condition are rare and highly sought after by collectors. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. So, if you happen to have a 1996 nickel that looks as fresh as the day it was minted, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Now, let's take things to the next level. Some 1996 nickels have unique features or even minting errors that could make them even more valuable. Mint errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, such as an off-center strike, double strikes, or misalignment of the dies. These minting flaws create rare, one-of-a-kind coins that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. If you have a 1996 nickel with a minting error, you might have a coin that's worth far more than its face value. Collectors are always on the lookout for these kinds of mistakes, and finding one could really increase the value of your coin. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. If you have a 1996 nickel in uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin that's worth a staggering $47,000. That's right, you could have a 5-cent coin worth $47,000. So, the next time you dig through your change or check your coin collection, don't overlook those 1996 nickels. You might just have a rare gem on your hands. Top 6, I'm going to share one of those secrets with you, a secret about the 1984 United States 5-cent coin, better known as the nickel. While most of us think of nickels as just pocket change, there's one from 1984 that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Stick with me until the end, and I'll reveal just how much a 1984 nickel could be worth today. Let's travel back in time to 1984, a year that might not seem too significant at first glance, but it was actually an important period in American history. The country was in the midst of the Reagan administration, and the economy was on the rise. Meanwhile, the United States Mint was busy producing millions of coins, including the nickel. The 1984 nickel, like others from the 1980s, is part of the iconic Jefferson series. The design, which features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse, has been the standard for the nickel for decades. But what makes this particular coin so special? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and a little something extra that can make it truly valuable. On the front of the 1984 nickel, we see the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers and the third President of the United States. His legacy, which includes the drafting of the Declaration of Independence, is immortalized on this coin. Jefferson's image represents the ideals of liberty, democracy, and freedom that our nation was built on. Flipping the coin over, we find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's famous estate in Virginia. Monticello is not only a symbol of Jefferson's architectural genius but also a testament to his role in shaping the country. The building's presence on the nickel is a fitting tribute to Jefferson's life and contributions. Now, let's talk about rarity. The 1984 nickel was produced in large numbers, so they are not exactly rare in terms of overall mintage. However, here's the catch: finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a lot more difficult than you might think. Most 1984 nickels were used in everyday transactions, which means they show signs of wear and tear over the years. Finding one in mint condition, free from scratches, tarnish, or discoloration, can be a real treasure. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that have been kept in excellent condition, and the 1984 nickel is no exception. When a coin is in uncirculated condition, its value increases dramatically. The less wear it shows, the more it can fetch on the market. Now, here's where things get interesting. Some 1984 nickels have unique features or minting errors that can make them even more valuable. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process. This could include anything from off-center strikes to double strikes or misaligned dies. Coins with these types of errors are incredibly rare, and collectors are always on the hunt for them. If you have a 1984 nickel with a noticeable minting error, it could be worth a whole lot more than its face value. So, the big question is, how much is a 1984 nickel worth? If you happen to have one in uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a minting error, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $45,000. Yes, you heard that right, $45,000 for a 5-cent coin. So, next time you're digging through your spare change or flipping through your coin collection, don't overlook those 1984 nickels. You might just have a rare find on your hands. Top 7. We're talking about the United States 5-cent coin from 2004. You won't believe how much this seemingly ordinary nickel could actually be worth. Stick around until the end of the video to find out just how much this coin could bring you. Let's rewind to 2004. It might seem like just another year in the early 21st century, but a lot was happening in the US economy and the world. It was the year of the presidential election, and the country was in the midst of rapid technological advancements and economic changes. And while all of this was happening in the background, the US Mint was busy producing coins that would find their way into everyday circulation, including the 2004 5-cent nickel. This coin is part of the Jefferson series, a design that has graced the US nickel for decades. Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers and the third president, is featured on the front of the coin. On the reverse, we see Monticello, his iconic Virginia estate. But what makes the 2004 nickel special is not its design, it's the condition and potential rarity that makes it so valuable. On the obverse of the 2004 nickel, you'll see Thomas Jefferson's profile. As a symbol of liberty, democracy, and the founding of the nation, Jefferson has become a permanent feature on the nickel since it was first introduced. His face on the coin is a reminder of the country's roots and ideals. On the reverse side, we have an image of Monticello, Jefferson's beautiful home. This estate was a symbol of Jefferson's intellectual pursuits and love for architecture. It represents the man behind the coin, someone who had a major impact on shaping the United States. But while these designs are iconic, what really makes the 2004 nickel interesting to collectors is the condition in which it survives. Let's take a deeper dive into what collectors are really looking for when it comes to the 2004 nickel. While millions of 2004 nickels were minted and circulated, it's rare to find one in mint condition. Most 2004 nickels were used in everyday transactions, meaning they've likely been scratched, worn, or discolored over the years. But if you happen to have a 2004 nickel that's been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition, that coin could be worth a lot more than you'd think. The key to its value lies in its condition. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins in perfect shape, and the 2004 nickel is no exception. The less wear and tear, the higher the value. So if you've kept your 2004 nickels in great condition, you might just have a rare gem on your hands. Now, let's talk about something that can make your 2004 nickel even more valuable: mint errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process. This could include anything from off-center strikes to double strikes, or even misaligned dies. Coins with these types of errors are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. If your 2004 nickel has a minting flaw, you could be holding on to something incredibly valuable. These errors make the coin even more unique and can cause its value to skyrocket, so it's worth checking for any anomalies in your collection. So, how much is the 2004 nickel worth? If you've got one in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth a stunning $25,000. That's right, $25,000 for a 5-cent piece. You wouldn't believe it, but that's the true potential value of a 2004 nickel in excellent condition. So, the next time you go through your coins, don't overlook those 2004 nickels, they could be worth a small fortune. Top 8. Coin might just surprise you. We're talking about the United States 5-cent coin from 1995. You might think, it's just a regular nickel, right? But trust me, this little 5-cent piece has a story to tell, and it could be worth a lot more than you think. Stick around until the end of the video, because I'm about to reveal the jaw-dropping value of this 1995 nickel. Let's set the scene. The year is 1995. The U.S. economy is in a state of growth as the country enjoys the prosperity of the Clinton administration. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint was busy producing billions of coins, including the 1995 nickel, which continued to feature the famous design of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia estate, on the reverse. This design has been a staple of the nickel for years, and the 1995 coin is no exception, but here's where it gets interesting. The 1995 nickel may look just like the many others from the 90s, but when it comes to coin collecting, condition and rarity are everything. So, let's dive deeper into why this particular coin is sought after by collectors. On the front of the 1995 nickel, you'll find Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and a key figure in shaping the nation's future. His portrait is a reminder of the country's founding principles, and it has graced the nickel for decades. On the reverse, we see the image of Monticello, Jefferson's home, which was also a symbol of his intellectual pursuits and love for architecture. The design of Monticello has become one of the most iconic images in U.S. coinage, but while the design is iconic, the real value of the 1995 nickel lies in its rarity and condition. Here's the thing, while millions of 1995 nickels were minted and circulated, not all of them survived in perfect condition. Most of them were used in everyday transactions, so they've been worn down by time. But if you've got a 1995 nickel that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, that's where the real value lies. Collectors are constantly searching for coins that have been well preserved. Coins that are free from tarnish, scratches, or discoloration are incredibly rare, especially when it comes to nickels that have been circulating for decades. So, if you've kept your 1995 nickels in great shape, you might be holding on to a real treasure. Now, let's talk about something that can really set your 1995 nickel apart from the rest: mint errors. These happen when there's a mistake during the minting process, like a double strike, off-center strike, or other anomalies. These errors are rare and highly prized by collectors because they make the coin even more unique. If your 1995 nickel has one of these minting errors, it could be worth much more than a regular, uncirculated coin. Mint error coins are often one-of-a-kind and can fetch premium prices, making them some of the most valuable coins in a collection. So, how much could your 1995 nickel be worth? Well, if you've got one in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth an amazing $41,000, yes, you heard that right, $41,000 for a single 1995 nickel. Who would have thought that a small 5-cent coin could have such an impressive value? So, if you've got any 1995 nickels lying around in your collection, it's time to take a closer look. You might be holding onto a rare treasure. Top 9, we have a special treat for you, a coin that may look like just any regular 5-cent piece, but believe me, it's hiding a big secret. We're talking about the 1993 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. This seemingly ordinary coin might just be worth a lot more than you'd expect. Stick around, because in just a few moments, I'll be revealing how much this 1993 nickel could be worth today. Let's take a trip back to 1993, a year filled with historical events and economic change. While the U.S. was experiencing its fair share of developments, the U.S. Mint was busy at work producing millions of 5-cent coins to meet the country's needs. The 1993 nickel is part of the famous Jefferson nickel series, which has been around since 1938. On the front, you'll see the image of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who was also one of the nation's founding fathers. But while many of these coins were produced, what makes the 1993 nickel stand out is its rarity and condition. So let's dive into why this particular coin is so special to collectors. On the obverse of the 1993 nickel, you'll find Thomas Jefferson, a figure who has been etched on U.S. coinage for decades. Jefferson represents the ideals of liberty and democracy that helped shape the United States into what it is today. On the reverse side of the coin, we see an image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. Monticello was not just a home, it was a place of learning and innovation, representing Jefferson's vision for America. This timeless design has become one of the most iconic representations of early American history, and it's a powerful symbol on the nickel. But beyond the beautiful design, what really makes the 1993 nickel stand out is how few of them remain in pristine condition, which leads us to the next point. While millions of 1993 nickels were minted, not all of them survived in great shape. Most of these coins were used for everyday transactions, meaning they've been subject to wear and tear over the years. But if you happen to have a 1993 nickel that's been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could have a valuable treasure on your hands. Coins that are well preserved, with no signs of damage, discoloration, or scratches, are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. If your 1993 nickel has been kept in excellent condition, it's a rarity in itself, and that rarity is exactly what makes it valuable. Now, let's talk about something that can really boost the value of your 1993 nickel: mint errors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the coin production process. These can include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or even misaligned dies. These errors are incredibly rare, and coins with minting flaws are highly sought after by serious collectors. If you've got a 1993 nickel with a minting error, you're holding on to a true gem. These error coins can fetch far higher prices than regular, uncirculated coins, and they add a whole new level of rarity to your collection. So, you're probably wondering, how much could your 1993 nickel actually be worth? Well, if you have one in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth an impressive $42,000. Yes, you heard it right, $42,000 for a 5-cent piece. Can you believe it? That's the potential value of a well-preserved 1993 nickel. So, if you've got any of these lying around, make sure to check their condition. You might be holding a rare and valuable piece of history. Top 10 and last coin, we're talking about something a bit more recent, but trust me, it's still pretty exciting. The 2023 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, might not seem like much at first glance, but there's more to this little coin than meets the eye. Stick with me, because you're about to find out just how much this 5-cent piece could actually be worth. You might be surprised, so stay tuned until the end. Let's start with a little background. The 2023 nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, a design that has been a staple of American coinage for decades. While most of the nickel's design has stayed the same, the 2023 version carries with it a little piece of the current era, making it unique in its own right. With a rich history that dates back to 1938, the Jefferson nickel has been in circulation for generations. In 2023, the coin still carries the image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, which has been iconic for many years. Jefferson is known not only for being the third president of the United States but also for his role in expanding the country and shaping the ideals of liberty and democracy. On the reverse side, we see Monticello, his famous estate in Virginia, which has been part of the nickel's design for more than 70 years. This timeless design links the present day with the past, reminding us of America's history and how far the country has come. Now, if you take a closer look at the design, the 2023 nickel still carries the recognizable features of the Jefferson nickel series, Jefferson's profile on the front, and Monticello on the back. The Monticello building represents the heritage and architectural genius of Jefferson, which is something that's always tied to the American spirit. But what about the modern touches of this coin? The 2023 nickel is a reflection of today's economy and minting process, and while it might seem like a regular coin in the grand scheme of things, there's always the possibility that it could carry a unique feature, like minting errors or variations that make it stand out. Here's the thing, since the 2023 nickel is still being minted and circulated, it's not exactly rare right now. But, as with all coins, time can work wonders. What may seem like an ordinary nickel today could become a highly sought-after collectible in the future, especially if it remains in mint condition or if there's something special about it. Coin collectors love finding coins that are in perfect, uncirculated condition. Coins that have been carefully preserved are often valued higher than their everyday counterparts. And while the 2023 nickel is still fresh off the press, if you happen to stumble upon one in pristine condition, it could be worth more than the 5 cents printed on it. Let's not forget about minting errors. These are the wild cards in the coin world. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the production process, like a double strike, off-center strike, or even a misaligned die. If you're lucky enough to have a 2023 nickel with one of these errors, it could become a real collector's item. Mint errors are rare, and collectors pay top dollar for these anomalies, which makes them even more valuable as time goes on. So, what's the big reveal? How much could the 2023 nickel be worth today? Well, if you're holding on to a 2023 nickel, it's currently worth its face value of just $1, that's right, a single dollar. But remember, as time passes and if there's a minting error or rare feature, this nickel could be worth much more in the future. That's it for today's video, folks. The 2023 nickel might be worth just $1 today, but who knows? With time, it could become a valuable collectible. So, keep your eyes peeled for rare minting errors or special features on your 2023 nickels. You never know what you might find. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could be worth a lot more than you think, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting!